Now. I am hoping. Let's just check. I'll try and find us on the phone. But I'm in a bad mood, Devon. I've had a really, when you have just technical gremlin after technical gremlin, mate, tonight you wouldn't believe it. But if anybody can see us out there, ladies and gents, I think it's on. We got a Let's Go, Desperation Pinocchio, Rally Newfield's in.
That's live.
Yeah, we're on, mate. We are on.
Hey, Neil, so you paid for the big premium Zoom membership, hey?
Oh, my God. I'll tell
you did?
Actually, I did, yeah. Well, not the big one, but I paid for one of them. But the issue that I've got is not that's been playing up. The Zoom thing's been silk. But my iPad, what do you call it? Like iPad is, mate, killing me. Last few days.
Oh, yeah? Hey, do I have some kind of feedback or something?
It's like we can hear it on here, but it's probably just feeding through. Let me set that button. Has it gone or not?
No, that must be in my own head.
I don't know.
It's gone.
At my end, I can't hear anything. Guys, in the stream, Can you hear anything, guys, or not? Have you got any feedback that you shouldn't be hearing? Let's have a look. We've got to stay stoic. Zane Jones, what's up? Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm clear at my end. So, Devon, mate, it gives me a sense of comfort as we get into the late evening here on a Sunday on what's been a pretty poor day, to be perfectly honest, in many ways. As I say, technical gremlins. But when we get on here, mate, and you're eating.
Well, I always feel bad, but look what I got today.
Oh, mate, what are you on here?
Yeah.
What is this? It's quite that. To be fair, though, that looks pretty healthy for you. It's quite healthy.
Yeah, this is not my usual. I didn't have to. I was planning on making some other stuff, but I just grabbed stuff in the fridge.
Is that tuna?
Salmon. Yeah.
Well, you're in Canada.
More fat in salmon.
Yeah, there is, mate. Look at your bears. Yeah. Never see a skinny grizzly coming up to have it.
And that tuna's for bodybuilders.
Tuna's for bodybuilders. Although I say tuna.
Yeah.
Fox 8 Ball is in the chat. We got some of the regulars, mate. It's lighting up. Marco GT5's in there. Echo gone now. Thanks, Marco. That was what I was looking for, mate. Yeah, so I think we're quite clear. Now, first of all, starter for 10. Devon, did you see Mike last night? Did you tune in at all, or did you just blanking it off?
I hate Michael Todd.
Him.
He pretends like we're friends. I hate the guy, but yeah, I do watch him.
Yeah.
It's like I can't look away.
Which do you find most entertaining thing about Mike? Is it the one-liners, or is it the beard? What is it?
Oh my God, there's where to start? I worry about the guy. I worry that one
the head.
Yeah. I worry that one day he finds out how screwed up my life actually is. and he tries to emulate me in that regard.
No, man.
I worry about him. I worry because if I put up a pancake video, Mike puts up a pancake video. If I go for a walk, Mike goes for a walk. If he actually finds out what's really going on, I feel bad for the guy.
I'll tell you something, mate. It got quite deep on here last night with Mike. Okay, I don't know how much of the show you caught, but one of the interesting things that we talked about quite a bit was the sort of changing dynamic of this match in terms of who the favorite is. And from what you just said there, I want to start at that point, really, mate, because if you cast the clock back to Acid Rain when you guys first met, you were universally, I think, recognized, it's fair to say, as the number one in the world at that time. You were doing very, very well. You just had some phenomenal wins. I mean, the one that everybody remembers, obviously, is the first ever SuperMatch upset victory against John, which was extremely dominant. I want to say more dominant was the Ron Bath match, which very few people have seen.
I heard you're going to release that.
I've got it, mate. It will be coming out.
You've got it?
Yeah, I've got the match.
Oh, my God. I didn't think you had it.
You knew the situation with that. Eurosport turned it down because it was too boring.
Yeah.
They said, yes, we don't want to see that. It's one-sided garbage.
Yeah.
We had to fight to get the John match in. Really fight to get that in.
No, I remember.
It was one-sided. But, it's one of those things. But we do have it. Now, if you look at that situation at that time, Mike was this serious underdog, and he was chasing. He was the hunter. You were the hunted. You just started this call sort of with a self-deprecating move. Really, you sort of almost like you're down on yourself. And yet, I often wonder how much of that is mind games, and how much of that you're even prepared to talk about. How much is reality? Because you seem extremely focused on this. It's almost like, do you have a little bit in yourself of a, I can't really lose here attitude?
It's a big match. Now, that being said, I'm always cool to go into a match I think I'm going to lose. So I don't, and I'm never one of those people who goes into a serious match thinking that I'm going to crush the guy. Yeah. It's never happened. If you go back, across my entire career, I'll be when it's time to fight, I'll fight hard. But in my homework and in my preparation, I'm rarely confident. It's just not the way I am. Where do I see this match in terms of, looking at it? Mike's looking awesome. He really is.
He's looking bigger in the right places, isn't he? In the right places. Through the where I've really noticed the difference, Devon, is the all the sort of structure around the hand and wrist look bigger. They genuinely look bigger than I've ever seen him.
I feel like he has separated himself in North America. I don't think that anybody, and I'm so happy to have this shot. I'm so thrilled about it. But Mike's a bad dude, super bad dude. I have no illusions about what I'm facing.
Yeah.
Zero. Facing a guy with probably one of the most gnarly outside moves in arm wrestling, and one of the most gnarly inside moves in arm wrestling.
Yeah,
and it's on the same guy, and he jumps between the two of them, and he's got great instincts, and he's never been more focused. So I have no illusions. Am I so happy to have the match? Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yeah, I was surprised. Because I actually did think that Levon was, I'm actually, I'd say it's so weird. I have so many emotions about this match.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. I am. I'm legitimately upset that I have the match. Yeah. I'm surprised, and I'm extremely happy. I love arm wrestling. I love arm wrestling at this level. To have an opportunity to pull Michael Todd, who I really do. People asked me the other day, do you really think that Michael could beat Levon? I said yes.
Yeah.
So to pull a guy who I believe is arguably the number one guy in the world, oh my God, I couldn't be happier. And do I think that there's a chance I can win? Oh yeah, there's a chance. And I'm just holding on to that. Do I think, like, my psychology in the match is totally different than Mike's? Like, there's no part of me that thinks I'm going to go up there and smash Mike. Zero part. Do I think that throughout this thing, can I potentially war it out to some disgusting, painful, frightening victory? Maybe. And that's what I'm holding on to. But yeah, I was kind of, at first I was pissed. I was like, man, like, why don't you do it? Like, and I fought for a long time to make the match happen with Levon. Like, I tried to push all the buttons. I tried to.
You were revving it up, weren't you?
Yeah, I tried, because I knew you know, that it was the right match. It was the right match.
It was the only conceivable time for that match to take place.
Yes,
without any
exactly.
repercussions, and that
Yes,
was kind of the thing that left a bit of a bitter taste, or more of a shame. I understand all the angles, obviously,
such a shame.
but it is a great shame that didn't happen. What I was interested to understand was, and we spoke about it last night with Mike, when you guys were sort of doing your off-camera little jibes at each other, which you obviously do, and there's a lot of mutual respect there as well. But when you're just having that little bit of a dig at each other when we were in Atlanta, you were projecting the confidence and so on, and looking if that could take Mike's aura down a little bit and his confidence would be knocked. On reflection, did you feel like that worked against you on that last meeting?
Well, psychology with every person is different. And what you have to realize is that some people feed off of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of great champions, you tell them they can't, and that is music to their souls.
Yeah.
You know, like you tell, and that's common. That's very common psychology. There's actually not a lot of top guys that you can bully. You know, once you have a chink, like once you have a spot, then you can turn it.
Yeah.
Right. Then you can start to be a bully. But a lot of times when you're away from the table and you start early with somebody, it's just going to give them more fuel. You know, you tell the wrong kid that they can't do anything, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't tell them, they might have not even tried. You know, so with Mike, Mike and I have a long history. It's really with us, like we're both extremely motivated. We both are crazy arm wrestlers. We both have our reasons why we want to do well. And there's not going to be a single thing that either one of us says to the other one that's going to make the other one back off. The only thing that's going to happen is we're going to put more fuel on each other's fires. That is it. So, I mean, we'll have fun with it. Like, as it gets closer, you know, it will be a requirement to sell tickets to a broader audience. You know, I think that everybody watching these shows, I think we're already invested. But when we start plugging, you know, the big channels and pushing stuff out and creating hype, there's things that we're going to have to do just to appeal to a broader audience. But because it is about selling tickets too.
Yeah, 100%.
we have to prove that this model is viable and that this magic can continue.
How hungry are you for this match? And what I mean about that is you are clearly putting in the effort now to make yourself strong and to go in there with the best foot forward, mate. But it's also at the same time fair to say that there'd been enough evidence prior to that you were happy to sort of travel the world and compete in pretty informal settings all over the place, and you're trying to launch your business interest in ArmBet, which is a wonderful and yet extremely time-consuming and complex piece of kit.
Yeah.
Did you struggle to make the transition back, or have you struggled to make the transition back into, okay, I'm going after the world #1 spot again? And do you feel as motivated every day to drag yourself into the gym and to do those wrist curls and that pronation, supination, whatever you need to do?
Yeah.
Is it still there the same way as the guy that was there at Acid Rain?
Yeah, I mean, the guy at Acid Rain, that was a special time, very special time. I mean, back when I was doing tours and, you know, fighting for a living, and I didn't have a cell phone, and it's my life was way simpler. I didn't have so many things, you know. My life is quite full.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of things to keep it getting more complicated. and I'm really happy. Like if you rewind, to last year when I'm just kind of touring around, and I love that. I have a lot of fun, and that's a lifestyle that I can really embrace. Just going out in the community, promoting, playing more of a role where I'm kind of pushing the sport through, not necessarily as an athlete first and foremost, but more of a guy who's bringing people together.
Sure.
And that's fun. It's a really good time, and I'm really lucky that I even have that option. But yeah, when this match happened, there are a lot of things that's changed. Well, a lot of things. Yeah, I'm really serious. Like I'm doing my best to train smart.
Yeah.
And normally, and it's been, I don't always train smart. Like a lot of times I'm training for show or I'm training for fun. But I'm really doing my best to train intelligently. I'm doing my best to, it's weird, like a lot of times you get to a place where it's almost like, when you're at a practice and the cameras come out. Yeah. Everything changes, right? And and I've tried to get away from that. I've tried to get to a place where I've taken some steps back and I'm not doing things for the camera. I'm doing things because I really think they're going to help me win the match. So Neil, I go to bed on time. I go to bed. I wake up early. Yeah, I'm telling you, like normally I'm up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning being an idiot. And then I sleep in until like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And these days I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning.
What is going on?
I have no, I'm not. No, I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Like, but I will be my very best I can be. Yeah. I have been given an opportunity that I'm not going to squander. And look I think Mike's awesome. He might kill me, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm going to do everything in my power to win that match.
100%. We got a super chat just coming. Desperation Pinocchio, thanks for your super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. And he means this in block capitals. All we want to know is where in Ontario will the Champions Hammer Holder Parade be? Oh. And with the maple syrup celebration show.
Oh my God!
You're doing wonders for maple syrup sales, mate. But just before we sort of get on to what you were saying a moment ago, obviously Mike yesterday was saying that he didn't see a lane for you to win. Do you expect this to be all about the King's move? I mean, no. But prior to this, it was sort of that same old song, wasn't it? That everybody, was on there, nothing else, Engin Siplenkov, bloody Pushkar Trubin. Everybody was talking about King's moving. And all I can say is, I don't think, if you look back at the history of Mike's big victories, right?
Yep.
Dennis. Yep. The first time against Pushkar, I know the second time, obviously Pushkar got the win there, but it was close again. Certainly the sort of matches that he's had with Trubin where he's won and he's lost, but the King's move was a massive part. I think it's fair to say that it's featured more in his successes than it has in yours. And yet, of late, we'd seen you start to emerge into that. And it's funny, Michael started taking the hate for the Kings. You sort of took a degree of hate, but came out and proudly sort of protected it. Talked about the benefits of the King's move and the fact that it is a killer technique. It's ironic, therefore, if in this match between two of the guys who've championed that in the super heavyweight division, we saw a return to orthodox pulling. Do you think that is a realistic possibility here? Because I get a sneaking suspicion that we might.
Well, I mean, good arm wrestling is orthodox arm wrestling. King's move is a fantastic trick,
Yeah.
a fantastic stopper, especially against arm wrestlers who are in a hurry and are inexperienced. And the thing is neither Michael or I are that. So when I think about what frightens me about Michael, the King's move is not what frightens me.
Very interesting.
It's really not. Like, I mean, the King's move to me, it's a great move.
Yeah.
But it's not a frightening move. It's a move that you have to kind of be patient and do the right pressures to. It can beat you like any move can beat you. But I think that...
Is it more the solid or the increasing degree of control that he seems to have from 2 inches below the wrist joint of the hand, and yet the fundamental elements that created his ability to King's move, that blocking, that defensive strategy that he's got, with his all linked there. But previously, he would be, as we saw with Crazy George, Manasiev, all the guys who've previously been the specialists in the King's move, often were competing with poor hand positioning, all of these things. Michael, as I said earlier, if anything's come on, if anything's really improved, it's that connection he has in the hand and wrist, and it's thicker, it's better than it's ever looked. Is it that really worries you? Or is it the transition for the press?
Yeah, that's the main one. Mike's press, I believe, I mean, he's always had a press, always has.
Yeah.
But I think that it looks really good right now. His press does look like, you know what, look, I don't want to say Mike's got a lot of holes, because he doesn't. But you can't start to say that things are invincible. The King's move is not invincible. Flapper's shoulder press is not invincible. They all have counters. If you can play the right card at the right time and just be somehow ahead in terms of what both of you are thinking, and you have some kind of strength to actually back up that thought, then you're in the match. There's a few keys to victory. And that's in not just in this match, but in every match. I mean, there's height. You can't talk about arm wrestling and not talk about height. Who's holding on to who? If whoever has more rise is going to have the keys to unlock the outside of the arm wrestling spectrum. It doesn't matter if it's a King's move or not. And then on the other side, it's the frightening commitment of test your frame and bone-breaking belief that your skeleton is more hardy than the other person's, and you are willing to commit it without any holding back.
Yeah.
Those two things are both massive pieces to the arm wrestling world.
Yeah. And that's an interesting one, because you know that Michael is, and I think like you certainly are yourself. So it's the height thing is an interesting one, mate, because I wanted to pick you up. Just going to pick up this super chat though. Joe Mama, thanks for your super chat, mate. Just keep this in the back of your mind for a moment. I didn't want to forget it. Devon, is there heat between you and Ryan Espy? I never see you training together nor talking to him. So we'll pick that up in a second on that one. But I just wanted to, again, just go back to a comment you made a minute ago and tie that in, because you said, obviously, you can't talk about arm wrestling without the height. But the interesting thing is, when you've been looking at Michael's training recently and what he's been doing recently, he's the usual Mike. He looks in bad positions, good positions, but his willingness to throw that shoulder in there and drive the press seems to me to be right there. When you have pulled him in the WAL and recently at any time, do you feel like you were hanging on to him? Do you feel like you've made a mistake in that area? In other words, is it something that you can actively correct?
Well, that's the big question mark, isn't it? Because when we pulled in the garage down with Juji and Tom and down in North Carolina, there's just, unfortunately, there's no good information that I can take from that match, because he was tired. Absolutely, he was. And I was fresh. Now I'll tell you, I would have won that night.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a 3 out of 5, I am confident that my hand on that night was good enough to probably make him have a horrible experience by round 2 and 3 and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but the problem is there's nothing I can take from that.
No,
I mean, I'm fresh. He's tired, so if somehow the hands are the same as they were that night, I'm in the match. But I know that would be a ridiculous presumption. Now, if you go back to 2018, his hand was better that day. Just was. Yeah.
I was going back further, mate. I was going back to round 1 of Acid Rain.
Oh,
when you were obviously extremely confident, and you did in the first start literally hang on to him, and he attacked you like he rarely attacked anyone.
Right.
But with sort of that attacking King's move style that he's developed and got much better at.
And I tried to hook him.
Yes. Now, were there some lasting memories of that? Because you obviously changed as the rounds developed in Manchester. You changed your style.
Yeah.
And you were back in a place where you were pretty confident, at least projecting confidence when we were in Atlanta. And you found yourself chasing the match quite early. And I think you had an awareness very early on that you were struggling there, and some of the things weren't going. We've all been there, everything feels joined up and isn't.
Yeah.
But how much, when you walked away and you looked back at the match from Atlanta, recent form aside, the issues with the deep vein thrombosis aside, and so on, if you'd been the same individual that pulled Dave Chafee, could you take an honest look at yourself versus Mike and think, okay, I'm pretty sure there are a number of areas here that I could correct? If it was the same Michael, stylistically, there are things that I didn't utilize that night that I could have done. There are things that I could correct or train to correct. And if those things do exist, do you feel like you're in a position with all the current considerations to be able to get to that spot, mate? In your own head, do you feel like that's an achievable goal?
Yeah, I have a chance to win this match. Mm-hmm. Of course I do. It is going to be really hard if I don't have my hand.
Yeah.
It'll be tough. I think that is a key for me, controlling the hand. If I can control the hand, if I can make him have to bring his shoulder forward, that's when I should technically start to at least run everything that's going on. It's got to be possible. It's got to be possible.
Where is your arm strength at, do you think?
Well,
compared with the when you pulled Dave, for example, comparable?
It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say because I have not, and I won't measure it.
Yeah,
I won't. I don't plan on measuring it before the match. It's gonna be a big surprise.
Well, you're committed. You know who you're in. What will be.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
Yeah. No, it's really exciting. I think I will be in exceptional form. That's what I think. I think that it's funny the way, how everything's a wave, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep things high all the time. It's really difficult. And through fate, I absolutely hit a low point. I did. November, this beginning of December is a big low point for me.
Mentally and physically, or just
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible time in my life.
Everything.
But since then, every day I'm getting stronger. Mm-hmm. Every day. To a point where, I feel like this last 6 weeks where really I'm doing a lot of resting, I think I should show up in truly exceptional form. And I will be, and I won't know how much I can lift. I won't know, like when I pulled Dave, I think it was kind of mid-season, I think I'd already had a match earlier. Mm-hmm. Wrong. I don't think it was my first match. Oh, I pulled Hutchings, right? I pulled Hutchings and then I pulled Dave, I think.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think you're right.
18?
I think you'd only had the Hutchins. You'd only pulled Todd, and then you went straight into the Dave match.
Yeah, Hutchins and then Dave.
It was LA. That's right.
I think that's how it went. And then and then I got tweaked a little bit with Dave, and then I pulled left with Marcio at the end. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I think I was actually in better shape with Marcio. Oh, sorry, not Marcio. With Wagner.
Yeah, on the left arm. Yeah, you think at that time your right arm was rock strong.
Well, it's weird, because I knew it was tweaked, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to prepare properly. But it's weird, what you can kind of sense just when you're close to somebody, like when you're in a room with somebody, when you're close to somebody, and if you're a professional arm wrestler, you kind of can very quickly just get an opinion on whether or not you can beat somebody just by standing close to them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And I remember that day, I thought I could beat Mike. I remember that day just being close to Mike and touching his hand. And I was like, yeah, I think I'd probably beat you right now. But who knows? Who knows? Hey, why won't the guy pull me left hand? Huh? What kind of a scaredy cat is that?
I think that's going to happen, that, Matt. Hey, we got a super chat that's coming as well. LR, thanks, mate, for your super chat. And he's put Devon, big fan. Got a kind of random question. Do you know Adam Ondra? He's a
oh my god,
champion. Got a YouTube
channel. My god.
And he's put, would you collab?
Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, if you don't know Adam Ondra, you are missing out. Do you know Adam Ondra?
Yes.
Isn't he incredible? Oh my god. I like I watch his videos quite a lot. There's one he does.
You met him?
No, I've never met him. No, but I watch his video. My son Milo, Milo is doing outdoor education.
Okay. Yeah.
So he just gets to do everything fun. He learns how to do kayaking and snowboarding and all the fun stuff you can do. Is that
what he's looking to go into, sort of coaching, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, just like a professional good times guy. Right? Yeah, that's what we're all really happy.
Porn instructor.
Right?
Yeah, it's right.
It's basically what he's doing. And so he was doing some climbing, he was doing some ice climbing, and I have a lot of friends who are climbers. And so I showed him so I showed him some guys that I know, and then he's like, no. He's like, you got to check out Adam Ondra. Mm-hmm. This dude's intensity and focus, unreal.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing some of the people that are out there. Some of the absolute weirdo super chats flying in. FrostX01, thanks for your super chat, mate. And all he's put there, thanks to Devon and you, Neil, for everything. Thank you, mate. Thanks for tuning in, checking it out, and thanks for the super chat. And to everybody on the super chat, we've got 710 people tuned in right now. All thanks to this man, Devon Larratt. Very, very popular in the world of arm wrestling and outside.
Neil, you're the guy. You're the guy. Hey, did you see Matt and I's podcast the other day?
You know what? I'm about halfway through.
Oh, did you see the part where we give you the big love?
No, I did not see that. I'll check it.
Okay, well then you want to keep watching it.
I will definitely. I'm about halfway through it. The set, look, the balls.
That's my buddy Matthias.
Mate, you like Chael Sonnen? That was Iron Dick. Chael Sonnen's got the best frigging podcast. I don't care anybody, but you know the Mean Streets coffee shop thing and the whole bad guy. Do you ever watch Chael Sonnen's?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, never came out of lockdown, mate, and I'll tell you what, that's something to aspire to. That kind of setup. Michael Todd's calcified bone. He's back for more, oh god, cheers, mate.
I can't see
Does
them.
Devon know my rat? Yeah, here we go. He's gonna have some fun with you tonight, mate, and with me as well. Waddy, £10 super chat. Hi Neil, we always talk about top 5 of all time and top 5 now. This time, I would love if you guys both choose your favorite arm wrestler of all time if you had to choose one. Only one. Holy shit.
Come on.
You're
Just
gonna have
one?
to, leave that with me. That is genuinely
Just
hard.
one. Just one?
That's genuinely hard as
Huh.
Leave that one. We will answer that question. But that's fine. I need to think about that one. I'm gonna have that ticking over.
Mike Gould.
I'll tell you what, if you were giving out medals on top bloke, Mike Gould would be there. But for anybody who doesn't know Mike Gould, right? Mike Gould is just this cast from granite Canadian legend in the super heavyweight division. Everything about him screams man. He's just like he's been sponsored by Yorkie. Deep voice. And what an animal he was as a young man. I mean, absolutely.
He's back trucking again.
Mate. Love Mikel Gould, what a dude. Yeah. Here we go. Another one coming for you here, mate. After Devon versus Michael, what's going to be the next big arm wrestling event we can look forward to? You know what I expect? I honestly expect that it'll be cascading. I mean, RVJ Sasho, which we'll talk about. We know we've got Mask and get Hermes coming up, which I want to get your opinions on that one as well. But yeah, I think probably the next one on my radar is going to be RVJ Sasho, which I think is a big match. I think it's a great match, you know?
It sure is.
Who we got?
It sure is. What a tough match.
Isn't it?
What
Isn't it? Good match.
Yeah, that to me, that's the top of the pile right there. See, that's what should be happening, right?
Yeah.
These are the matches. Best from the East, best from the West.
Yeah. We just need COVID-19 to piss off so we can all actually travel.
Oh my God. We need the governments to piss off is what we need to do. Who gives a fuck about COVID-19?
I'll tell you.
Governments can fuck off.
We're on, I mean, I'm not going to get into that again, but Jared Theriot, big fan, guys. I have complete faith Devon going to win. You got your backers out there, mate. You're convincing a few people. Steve Kelly, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put £1 in there. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We've got 711 people. Don't forget the Ryan Espy question. So, yeah, let's go back to the Ryan Espy question. This could get deep.
So, my memory is horrible. Horrible. Okay? Like, really bad. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember, like, details will quickly be lost in the river.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'll remember that there was a current there, and I'll be left with a feeling. And I remember there was something that pissed me off that Ryan did, but it's long enough ago and insignificant enough that I've basically forgotten. I know that it had,
wasn't it? It was more.
I think it had to do with that little imp that I haven't forgotten about.
Just associate.
There is an imp out there that if he's seen by the wrong person, it'd be a bad day for that little man. And I hate to talk like that, but there are some people that need to be smited. I hate that guy. I hate him. Anyways, so there was an association there, but look at Ryan's a great arm wrestler, and
he really is.
Yeah, we're a province away. Yeah.
You know what? Joking aside, I've thought that a few times myself. I'm going to weigh in on that. You and Ryan would do each other a world of good. It was great to see yourself and Matt hooking up because so many similarities and Matt's Matt Mask is if he's not one of your favorite arm wrestlers, how is he not? I mean, he's just explosive. He's entertaining as hell. He's one of those individuals that when he arm wrestles, the room wakes up. You can't not. He's just bristling, isn't he? He's bristling. Such an exciting motherfucker.
His hands are stupid.
Yeah, they really
stupid
are.
hands. His right
is sick, mate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's still working like all the time. Like he's like a regular guy. Like he does his, regular job. He's got a family. He's got plenty of distractions. He's far from a full-time arm wrestler.
Oh, mate. And being on the inside track of Matt's existence over the last couple of years, as you'll well know, that lad's arm wrestled when he's had some major stuff going on I mean, I've had a
Yeah.
ridiculous day today, but you know, people don't know what's going on in your personal life and what's gone on throughout anybody's day. But let me tell you, Matt's gone through it. Mike Todd's calcified bone. Thanks, mate. Knew the one was coming. He asked about, does Devon know my rat? He's come back with my rat. No, he'll be on this all night, mate. Love him. Honestly.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Devon's Classy Finger, one of my favourite names out there at the moment. He said, but I tell Devon I like the podcast with Matt where he introduced me. Holy shit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that.
It's all started now, hasn't it? You know,
I don't understand what's happening here. Just for him. There
you go.
That's how they do it over in the UK, isn't it, Neil?
No, mate, only with the T.
All right.
T.
Yeah.
Now we got V Porge knocking a few of these over coming because they've been racking up. And he's just put $5 super chat. Thanks, mate. Hype. Now, we talked about this yesterday. I get the feeling there's a little bit of a different flavour about this entire match in terms of the hype, because you'd got known for that over the last few matches, the various things that have gone out there that you'd done. I mean, even involving, you know, the crack, all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I don't want to say more respectful with Mike, but in a good way, slightly more focused, like more, okay, this is real. And this is
has to be. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes I find myself in a place where I can really play. Look, if this was left hand, I could just laugh my whole way through it. I wouldn't have, you know, but the right is tricky. You know, the right is a tricky one for me. I think that if you have me as the favorite to win this match, I think that you probably haven't been following. Mike is a bad dude. You know, I have a lot of things that I have to do perfectly. It's not impossible. No, it is not impossible.
And he knows that.
You know, yeah, of course he does. Of course. Otherwise, you know, he would be. Yeah, of course. There is a nice golden opportunity for me. And I think that as things get closer and we both start resting more, I think that we'll have time to talk a little bit of crap. But the truth is I'm trying to spend all my time in preparation. That's what I'm trying to do.
Really invested in getting the job done. Because let's be honest, mate, you know, sometimes you do these things in the past and they create a degree of hype. They created it, but then there's that day where if you do knock it over, not only in the minds on the perceptions of people that are watching the match, but in your mind, which is most arm wrestlers at any kind of level, that's really what it all boils down to. That was really what it was all about. And that's really why we're all here. That's why we did it for free for years. And we'd still be going in the lobby at night at friggin' 2 a.m. But in your mind, you walk away from this and you think, holy shit, that was something that can never take away. And we know how good Michael is. The people in the sport who've ever pulled with Michael know how good Michael is, know what he's capable of. Where do you put Michael overall all-time list, mate? Really, the best Michael Todd? How good is he? The best of him.
He's really good. He's really, really good. He's got to be in the top 3 of all time. That's what I think. You know, the form he is in now, a prime Brzezinski. Who wins that match? I don't know.
It's that awkward factor again, isn't it?
Sure is.
Because if you think about it, there was not a super heavyweight of anything like that kind of strength that was King's moving effectively in that manner throughout all of that time. There's been very few. See, this is the thing that always made me. It always struck a chord with me when people were talking about the Kings. Yeah, aesthetically, I'm not a fan of it, but the difficulty in the Kings is severe. It's as hard as hell to do. Right.
I'm so far past it. I'm so far, like, I feel like people have just completely misunderstood. And like, I feel like the conversation about the King's move, people are thinking that King's moving is the acceptance of a foul. And like, I feel like that's where a lot of people are like, I don't like the King's move because it means no, they're saying like, that's the shoulder below the tape. No, stop. Like, that is not, like, no one is saying that you're allowed to foul. That's not what's going on. The problem is the good King's mover doesn't have to foul.
No. And if you look at the fundamental usage of the King's move and how effective and how efficient it's been at disabling magnificent orthodox arm wrestlers, you know, one of the classic examples of that. In fact, I'm going to throw two out there, right? Probably the two. Okay. First one of those two, Engin Terzi, okay, in 2001 in Italy. Because Engin's a magnificent arm wrestler. And for him to get hung up by that move, for somebody of that knowledge and skill set to get hung up by that move, really shows how excellent it is. Second one, Arnold Classic, Artem Tainov, getting hung up by that move. Probably that one, even more dramatic, because of the fact that it was a 60-plus-year-old George Zakowicz against a mid-20s reigning world champion in Tainov, who, for those people who aren't familiar with Artem, orthodox arm wrestler at that time. He had so much potential. It was unreal. And yet, when he came against that in George, it was pure confusion. Like drowning. Like, what the fuck is happening to me? And I've been there. I've been there with Gregory Schneider the first time they got thrown on me in that way. And it's just like, okay, try to find a way through this. It's horrific. But the point that I was making there was that there always seemed to be like a concern amongst the arm wrestling fraternity that King's moving would suddenly take over the world. And I was never really concerned about that because I don't think that many people can do it that well. I really don't.
Well, the thing is the more the sport remains strap based and the more people educate themselves, the more people will use the open top roll, which will lead down that path just because it's just a good technique. It's just a solid option against a guy who's got too much for you and you need to become a defensive style arm wrestler. It's an excellent defensive tactic to stay in the match. And I think that you're seeing more young arm wrestlers do it, but I just have none of those feelings whatsoever. Like, I share none of those beliefs. I hope that we get even weirder styles that piss people off even more. You know, like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, all I care is that the hand touches the pad and that there's no fouls between that and there. Like, follow the rules and pin the arm.
Well, the funny thing is, mate, if you look deep enough within the sport of arm wrestling, there's been those outlying weirdos that do something just a little different, but you weren't sure what they were doing. One of my favorites would be Jason Vale. Jason Vale in the strap. You could get all kinds of position and shape on him, and yet he'd find a way to pull you out of incredible positions. Another magnificent arm wrestler. A couple of super chats just coming. Chris Scamo, thanks for your super chat, mate. Really appreciated. You know Chris?
That's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude. I talk to him on the phone sometimes.
Tremendous. And he's put, Neil, you're the Vince McMahon of arm wrestling, mate. I wish I had Vince McMahon's friggin' influence and money. That'd be all right. Let me tell you now, because we could make arm wrestling big time. My dream would be arm wrestling arena shows. That would be the atmosphere you could generate in a big arena with the right match card would be off the scale. And I know it's achievable. You know what I mean? I just know it is. If we'd have had the Arm Wars Acid Rain card in an arena, that would have worked. Because if you think about, can you remember the matches that day on the undercard? Like Nana, Stad and Froda, and some of the matches were stupid, you know.
Maybe we'll have opportunity. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. Changing world, mate. Kim Ankerson, thank you very much for your super chat. No comment, and I'll just put DKK. Thank you very much, mate. Oh, that's actually the currency. But mate, Kim, thank you very much, brother. Really appreciate that. Let's have a look. I'm going to scout through some of these. Sam Anderson, one that we'd logged back from. Did the first Devon and John match happen in Liverpool? No, mate. It happened at Armwars Deep Water in Thurrock in the south of England, just outside London on the M25 corridor. Dane Lee. Devon, who pulled harder? Siplenkov or the deep sea Goliath grouper?
Oh my God. See, now that's a legit question.
Legit.
Legit. Oh man.
Mate, I got in on that boat. Let me tell you that. I wanted in on that. Look.
Yeah. Well, there'll be opportunity. That guy loves fishing. Josh Jorgensen. He's always got crazy fishing ideas. He's always trying to get the world of strongman and arm wrestling and powerlifting and all those guys to come.
Friggin' love that. I hooked a fish when I was on the way to the Canadian event.
You know what might be funny?
Go on.
Is if we get the best strongmen, best powerlifters, best arm wrestlers, and we go on the fishing boat and you announce it. Like you're on the boat.
I'm in.
Announcing it.
Black tip for watching this. I am in, mate. Let me tell you now.
Yeah.
In. Jason Merlo will be in. Can you imagine? Jason Merlo's talent, hasn't he?
Yeah, he likes fishing too, eh?
What? ADC, thanks for your super chat, mate. It looks like it's UK-based guy and just got a little emoji there. Thank you very much. I'm going to scoop through some of these questions and try and pick out some good stuff here. I've got one for you, mate, also. When you pulled with... Well, let's make a comparison, okay? When you pulled left-handed with Andrei Pushka and you pulled left-handed with Denis Siplenkov, how much difference in power and stylistically, who was the most unorthodox? Because let's be honest, there are certain arm wrestlers in life that are just a little unorthodox. And often you see that where there's a really strong individual in the super heavyweight division. Lupkus would be one of them. Chafee would have been another. Pushka was another. And those three, in a relatively similar way, although Dave's a little slower, not as explosive. Dennis was one of those weird outliers who he was developing into quite a good technical arm wrestler, in my perspective. You know what I mean? But who felt the most awkward and powerful? Was with Dennis, was it that... And I'm going to expand this question a little bit, all right? When you first looked at Dennis, when he was pulling John and so on, and John hooked him and could hold him in arm-to-arm strength, obviously he's not channeling all that power there. But if he was ludicrously strong, ridiculously strong, I think you would have seen more, because speaking to John backstage, John was like, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that strong.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more down to the fact that Dennis had become a really good orthodox arm wrestler, or was he that much stronger than everybody else?
Well, so first off, I'll just say that my left was way better when I pulled Andre than it was when I pulled Dennis.
Interesting.
Just in terms of, like, I had surgery on my left in end of 2016, so 17, 18. It was 2 years post surgery. My left today is probably, I'll say today, my left hand is probably at least the equivalent of when I pulled Andre. That's what I think right now.
Yeah. That's with the whole weird no training stuff going on.
It's so weird, Neil. Believe me.
Talk about that, because
it's so strange. Like, I have these theories that I run, and it's like the complete opposite things happen. But to me, Andre is one of those guys who is like those guys who've never been beat, but he's so good, like he's just slamming you like you used to do to people like back in high school, but he's like 100 times as good as that. But Andre actually, when I pulled him, I think Andre actually evolved a lot after that match Yeah, I think that was a nice wake up call for him. And he was still young and he continued to just get better and stronger and smarter. So, the version of Pushkar that I pulled was still very impatient, very rigid, and not really thinking much past, I'm going to just destroy this person.
Where you came up with the same thing, only harder than
that actually came from Taurus. But yeah.
Same thing.
No, it was actually, yeah. But it applies. It applies. Yeah, I love it. To me, Dennis feels very much like an arm wrestler.
Yeah, orthodox.
Very orthodox.
Yeah.
Like all his movements are really precise and very much the right move. Like, yes. I don't think that Dennis gets enough credit for how smart he is. Like,
that's what I'm driving at, mate. Thank you, Devon Larratt, for saying, because I get, when I speak to a lot of people in the general fraternity of strength, okay, they'll always point to, that Dennis is a freak of strength. He's a weirdo. Dennis was like diligent.
Yeah.
He was like a, considered diligent guy who was actually trying to learn the nuance of it. I remember at FIBO talking to him on the table and he was looking at the ins and he was really digging into the techniques, supported by, obviously, the man was extremely strong, but he wasn't just this monstrous meathead who just overpowered people. If you look at his early matches and where he got to, he was even working on like kings and stuff like that. He had a lot going on.
He won a lot of high-level matches through technique.
And timing was getting better. He was timing things,
very well-rounded, very, very complete.
Underrated, technically, I believe.
I think that it was hard for people to get past just his immense frame and structure. And they just immediately just focused on that and never kind of looked at,
breaking chains and walnuts, poking the fire with his cock.
Yeah. Super smart guy.
Yeah, he really was. We got another super chat. Oh shit, we got about 10 just coming at once. Taylor Clark, Devon, where's Binny plus DS3 coming?
Benny, Christian Benny.
I haven't heard from Christian for
Frank Diaz. Those guys down in Florida.
The Silverback.
They're so washed up. All those guys. It's like we're talking about a soap opera from the 80s or something. Like
Dickie Spearoff.
A Dickie Spearoff. Like all these guys, like you line up those three guys, 1, 2, 3, and I might wake up at some point. I don't know. Probably not. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if these Chance Shaw'd probably beat those guys. Artem Taranenko would probably beat those guys. Like they might be, Christian Binney might be the 6th best guy in Florida.
That answers it for you, mate. Gavin Trim with a super chat. Thanks, mate. Oh, yeah, I don't think you're going to get an answer on this one. Is Chris Gobby Devon's best friend? No comment. No comment.
That guy's just got to show up someday.
Michael Todd's calcified bone with a super chat. Devon, I have $250 betting on you to pin me. Just don't break me, please. So do you know any of these? Do you know any of these guys? You know who's behind these guys?
I love them. I love all of them. They've changed the game.
Neil, Devon has mentioned he has made a ton of lifestyle changes in preparation for this match. Can he give some details on these?
Well, there's one that I would really love to talk about because it's the most substantial. But due to business reasons, I probably shouldn't talk about it yet, but I will. But I mean, you might be able to tell if you follow me close enough, but I did make a video where I was walking out on the snow on the river in Richmond, where I talk about crutches. And if you know me, you can probably get some stuff from that video. But it's tricky. We develop these crutches that we use, and you know, sometimes they help us, but sometimes they hold us back. And I have been able to throw away a lot of my crutches in the last few months, and it's overall really helped my brain. So it's been positive for me, you know, like just this whole goal, this whole, really it's me thinking that it's probably something I can't do. That's really what it is. It's something that I know that I can't just ease through. It's something that I knew would require like some serious lifestyle changes for me even to bother. Like for me to even think about it, I had to make some big lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
And I did. So
this is a dual thing though, and it's the ArmBet thing as well. I mean, you've been, you know, that's obviously kept you occupied, and the energy you've thrown into that is brilliant. I want to say thanks for coming up with the whole concept anyway, because I mean, let's be honest, talk about unfortunate timing with COVID-19.
It's actually
when that thing's passed by, ArmBet's potential is incredible.
I learned a lot, you know, when I got out of the military. I had no business experience whatsoever. I was a military dude who everybody I ever worked with was just always so helpful and so easy and one big team. And, but I was very naive with a lot of things at the beginning. When I got excited about ArmBet, I told every single person that I thought could be involved. I just told them. I didn't make anybody sign anything or anything. I'm just like, this is the idea. This is the plan. Do you want to help me? Do you want to be a part of it? And I made some partnerships, which I wasn't totally thrilled with, you know, which it turned out. But over the course of the last 5 months or so, it's been really difficult. We've had to make an entirely new team. We've held on to a lot of guys, but we have now a team in ArmBet, which I am so proud to be a part of. Every single one of these guys, awesome. We got a great group, and it's not going to be long before, well, the trajectory has already changed. You can't see it, but the trajectory of ArmBet is already changing.
Yeah.
And we have the community's wants and needs, you know, right at the front. I know what we need to make us more awesome.
Yeah.
And we're going to do all those things just to make arm wrestling even cooler. So
exciting,
if you haven't signed up yet,
it really is. Hey, your mate's just come in with a super chat. Evan Burgoyne.
Evan Bornine. I think you said it wrong. Bornine.
I'll tell you what, that's a character, that man. And he's put, here we go. This is it, reoccurring theme. That imp retired from reffing. Now, I'll tell you what, Evan. Evan.
Did you see the match with him and Evan? Did you see it?
No.
Did you see that match?
No.
Oh. So Evan and the imp. So imp was being silly for some reason. I'm bad with details. All I know is that guy was being a total dick as usual. And Evan, who takes no shit, right, just walked up the table and just pushed him out. Just pushed him away.
Evan's got a style, hasn't he?
He caught some heat for it, but I think that people were happy that he did it too, just because.
Where was that, mate? Where did that actually take place at?
I think it was at Montreal. I think it's at Avi Bench was holding events for a while in Montreal. And I think it was one of those. Yeah, Montreal actually. There's a lot of good stuff happening out of Quebec right now.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of young arm wrestlers. Like
I saw your note on it the other day, and that's great. The fact that's it's created that resurgence of an area that you said previously has been a bit asleep.
A little bit of time. I mean, I know that it's like there's always been strong arm wrestling there, but it died down for a little while. But I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of young guys, like guys who are like, young, like less than 25. And like some of them are really young, like 20 and younger, who are really, really good.
It's interesting watching the pieces you've done, because, you know, I try to keep on top of the sport as much as it is possible to do. Obviously, that's more difficult now. But a lot of guys there that you've never seen before, and they look really joined up and powerful and explosive. They've got it all, you know, and it's like anything else. When you have an enormous influx of talent coming in on things like that, it's exciting. And you wonder, one of these new stars of the sport could just emerge from nowhere at any time. And it's bloody exciting, mate. And you must be really proud of that.
Well, it's tough to tell when guys are young too. I mean, everybody who loves arm wrestling should be proud of where the sport's going. But there's one guy that I'm kind of paying closer attention to, young guy, Casey Bosom.
No.
I don't know if you ever meet John Bosom.
Oh, that name rings a bell.
He's been around forever. John's been around forever. You might know John because he top rolled John Milne at the Mike Gould Classic.
We're allowed to talk about that.
Right to the pad.
I know the name, mate. Yeah, I know.
John, anyways, that's like a funny thing around here. But so John Bosom has had a kid who's been around the arm wrestling scene since he was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Just like a baby. He's grown up in the sport. He's 18 now. And he's like 400 pounds. And oh my God. And his hand is
not
like,
been over there, has he? And delivering
right?
milk.
Exactly. Yeah.
Burger, mate. Let me tell you now.
He's a great big dude. His hands are like way bigger than mine. And he's 18.
Jesus Christ.
And he loves arm wrestling. And he's got a ton of good guys all around him. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. He's just one. There's a whole handful of them out in the Montreal region that are.
Oh, like I said with the ArmBets thing, I mean, you know, if you build it, they will come. They really will.
Well, I think over the next 3 years, I think we'll have 1 million people on the app. That's what I think.
Oh my God, that's.
I think it's going to start to hit that growth, and I think that people are just going to start populating that thing, especially once we start to get really cool features, which are going to make people want to stay on there and play on there and talk on there and post on there. I think that once we make it a really good hub for the community, I think that me either. Me either.
Devon's classy finger back in. Just thanks, mate. He just put, guys, let the man a like for the great job we're doing on the live. Thanks very much, brother. Really appreciate your support. Let's get down and knock some of these super chats off. Jason Merlo is in the chat. My man, I love Jason. Let's have a look. So many people on here. We've got 910 people on. Guys, thank you so much for all tuning in, checking it out. Remember, keep your questions coming. Hey, boys, Devon, got your back. 420's coming. Hashtag 800 Club from P.I. Derek.
Oh, no. More proof that I'm an idiot. And people take care of me. Thank you for taking care of me, guys.
98 Blower. What a name that is. Iron Dick. What's your biggest super chat donation, Devon? What's the biggest one you've ever had?
Well, I know that people hit me with 100 a few times.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I seem to miss them most times because I'm in the car on my phone.
Yeah,
and the thing
ideally don't die.
And I have to like go back afterwards and look. I end up normally missing them, which is terrible. I haven't done very many of these, but I have to do like a structured live sometime where I can talk to people. It's just normally I just pick up the thing and just go live and I say some random stuff and that's it. But
we got Dan Earthquakes just coming with a super chat. I watched Devon's Uda Zumov video, and it inspired me to go to Japan and participate. Along the way, I met Neil and dozens of others. Thanks, Devon. He's a lovely lad, Dan Earthquake. Right character as well, Dan. Thanks for tuning in, Dan. Done some amazing feats, that guy. Swimming, all kinds of stuff. You know, one of these guys will just go out and do physical challenges and stuff. Friggin' love that. Absolute quality. Really nice dude. Zane Jones, thanks for your super chat. Devon, back when you were ranked #1 right arm, up to what year do you truly think you could have beat Dennis at that time? And 2011 question marks, greetings from Vancouver.
I think that it was around, I think it was 2012. Whenever my match with Bresnan was, that was kind of the end of my run. I think it was 2012 or 13, but
Yeah.
from around 2008, even just before 2008, like 2007, even though I hadn't beaten John, from like 2007 or so, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think I was pretty good. Injuries started to really
something you've never talked about. Let's blow the lid off a couple of the sort of myth and legends of arm wrestling, right? The acid rain match, which is probably on reflection my favorite card and match of all time. Just the whole atmosphere then about it. And where this whole trilogy thing, it's funny how we've ended up here, isn't it? You know what I mean? But you were knackered coming into that. Yep. I remember you telling me your wrist was not good. And this is the same guy that when John Brasink came into the airport, you said, watch this.
Yeah. Well, I knew.
So we've gone from the confidence to the, mate, my wrist ain't great going into this. I'll be okay. And you pretty much predicted it. You said, I'll win, but it's going to be a real, and I might be out for a while after this. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I've done a lot of things in my life. Like I have a lot of miles, like a ton. And it's not all just from arm wrestling, but when it comes to arm wrestling limitations, there's kind of been two major issues. My first issue right here. Okay. That's two surgeries on the elbow. And, the elbow, probably around 2011 or so, sometime around there, it started to get to a point where the nerves started to really limit my ability to post and roll.
Yeah.
Just, I could still come inside really well, but for posting and rolling, just all the trauma to the elbow, it started to limit it. And then my other problem area is right here.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like, it just gets dislocated, gets pulled out.
And reaching the converted, mate. I got that same injury. Exactly.
It's so common.
I've got that. That happens. Yeah. And I don't know when or why. Some stupid nothing shit. Like I was out with my sons on their bikes and I picked up the small bike, got hold of the rear mudguard to pick up the bike and move it. He was stuck in a section. I went to pick it up, frigging whole wrist, just dislocated him. And you're like, and then it's bad for months. For no reason.
It's from pronation. It's from pronation. It's from pronation. Yeah, exactly. It's from pronation too high up on the hand. And that's why I always preach, when you pronate through the thumb, and that'll keep you way safer. And that's the way you should arm wrestle. And if you have strong rising, right, that'll keep your pronation more intact, right? Like, you'll be able to keep the person down on your hands. So those are the two, issues that I've had over the years. At different times they light up.
You've pulled in some situations that people don't realize. Remember when we were in Dubai, sharing a room in Dubai, and you'd been shot to fuck in that helicopter? Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, who knew? Nobody knows that you had. I know, because you were sat on the end of the body with the leg all shot to fuck.
But
it's good times. Don't know about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that people don't know. I mean, and a lot of athletes have injuries, that aren't even related to arm wrestling. And Sylvain Perron, when he pulled Matt Mask, he had blown the crap out of his body like a week before. Arm wrestlers have lives, right? Yeah. And I had one where I was falling out of planes and getting shot and getting blown up a couple times. Yeah.
So we got a super chat just come in from Anthony Lapresti, and he's just put "Love you, Devon." Another fan of yours, mate. Jared Theriot, thanks again, mate. Another one come through, and he's just put Devon. Can you pull a king's move to? Fucking hell. Here we go. Devon, can you pull a king's move to make Engin angry? Let's face it, you're Michael's kryptonite, and we all know it. Desperation Pinocchio.
I was really, I got so excited when I thought that I was going to be able to arm wrestle Engen.
Mate, Engen was nearly on the line. Engen, if you're watching this show, mate, come back. Come back, mate. Come back.
Yeah.
He was nearly on the live show the other day, mate. He nearly came on. Really close. I got to doing, I had a thumbnail done. I fired it over to Engen. I said, come on, dude, let's do this thing. And he came back and he said, I need to focus on the match. This was actually before the match got binned off. It's a shame that Makarov match got pinned, but he was coming on. We could have put the band back together.
I think that if I could speak Turkish, we'd be way better off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot lost in translation in that whole thing.
I hope so.
Banter
I
is
hope
not
that's
a thing. It. Yeah.
Because as soon as he started to say that he wanted a match with me, I'm like, rum, right? I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Because with Engen, it'll work.
Oh,
right?
Mate, what? He didn't know you would. He said to me, I said, mate, he's taking the piss. It's banter. What the fuck is banter? He's like, he's joking. I said, he's joking. He's winding you up. I said, it's like you got a key in your back. He's winding you up, mate. Oh, but he's not respect. I said, it's not about respect. I said, he doesn't, it's not even reality. He's playing. You know, but
I'll have to write another story about him.
We'll get it.
I don't feel safe to go to Istanbul right now.
No, don't go. If I can kill you.
People have said they're going to kill me.
They will. Yeah. Your mom has just come on super chat. Devon. Wait. Hey, check this shit out. Devon, I say with all due respect, Geordie is absolutely stunning. But
Geordie
I fucking love this. Andy goes on. But seems like she could get a little scary if pissed off. Do you ever fear Geordie? Can I go first?
Why not?
I am for real terrified of fucking Geordie, okay? Geordie is a badass. She was fighting one night in the lobby, and I thought I went out the room. I went over to the bar. But when you remember fighting, you were fighting her on the floor when you were leathered in the last event. I moved because she had that look in her eye, and I thought, nah. Nope.
Yeah, she sometimes likes to fight.
Mm.
Yeah.
You ever fought Marlene Kleinsmith?
Oh my God, that sounds scary. I don't know.
Don't fight.
She moves too quick. She moves too fast for me.
No, she hurts you.
Yeah.
I don't want
to. She hits.
Yeah.
She's a hitter. Yeah.
I don't like her. Okay. Manes Cave Woodworking. What a great name. Not sure if it was asked. But if Devon wins, will he make a run at Levon and the overall #1 spot? # vegan pancakes.
Vegan pancakes. I think that the match that really interests me they're all good. They're all good matches. But I think the one that really, and again, it's like, I feel at this point in my career, I'm really trying to hold on, like at that level. Like a lot of me just wants to go to the farm leagues and just tour and have fun. But if I can, I will. And the one that I just think that this one would be a lot of fun, and it's Gennady.
Why? Just because of his character, his demeanor, the rev. Yeah, it is fucking good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Anybody that big and that strong that does knee sliders and screams satanic shit. I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds good.
I think he's a very spirited fighter.
Oh yeah.
I think that I just think, look, they're all great. I mean, the list is long. Who do I want to pull from the East? I mean, geez, pick a guy, like whatever. Like they're all great. Like, I mean, you can, I could give you 20 names, or more.
Yeah.
And I think they'd be great matches. Yeah. But to me, like, and this is me, like, I'm trying to, get those guys while I still think I maybe can.
It's not only physically that as well, is it? Because a minute ago you were saying, we think we're going to have 1 million people on the app, right? So let's say you do.
Yeah.
Your time's going to be not your own. You're going to be
Right.
busy as hell.
Yeah. And that's why, yeah. But while I can, I would love to still continue to compete at that level. It's very meaningful for me to do it. Like I do get a lot from the process. I feel like I learn a lot because I'm very serious, and I learn things a little bit better when I'm being serious than when I'm just casual. And I feel like the whole Gennady process would be a trip. Like, I feel like if I dedicated 6 months to like a Gennady match, it'd be awesome. It'd be great.
I was so excited he was coming to WL, mate. There was so many. I mean, his opener that was booked with Jerry. That would have been a friggin' train.
And he looks so good right now.
Yes.
Like I follow his stuff, and his strength has changed. Like,
oh yeah, there's no doubt.
He's
when we're offline, I'm going to tell you something about that I know a guy that knows a guy that saw something down for real. So I'll tell you about that, but not on here. Anyway, Travis Nichols has come in. Really enjoy your shows, Neil. I'm pulling for Devon, mate. You've got a lot of followers out there that are really believing in you. You're definitely the giant version of you that you're putting out there at the moment is definitely convincing a few people. Stephen Penner. Stephen, welcome back. We saw this guy on here last night. Great to have you back in the chat, mate. And he's put, hey, Neil, I'm making an arm wrestling series asking 3 questions to legends. How can I get you on a call for 5 minutes? P.S. Devon beats Michael. Easy. Mate, do me a favor.
Easy.
Drop me an email over. Easy. Drop me an email over to supernaturalstrengthchannel at gmail.com and we'll see what we can sort out. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's fire down through some of these questions. There are a shit load of questions. Devon Larratt. Trying to pick out some areas we haven't. Here we go. Devon's classy finger. What is Devon's? He's put, what is Devon think about? What does Devon think about Marcus Liebminger? Now, you've pulled Marcus, the Austrian.
Oh, yeah. He's saying, I think it's Liebmeyer. Am I Limburger?
He's put.
I'm saying his name. Yeah.
But I yeah.
Super cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice.
He's cool. Nice. Really like him. Now, I actually know that he's way stronger than when I arm wrestled.
Now, yeah.
Well, now and any other time. Like, I pulled him in his valley.
Didn't he get a win on Trubin as well?
Or he did. Yeah. No, he did. Yes. Yeah, he absolutely did. His left hand is really good. But I pulled him when he was injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it on purpose because
I like your work.
I like to do that. I was going to Germany, and it was kind of a last second thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought, who's kind of close that I'd like to hook up with. Yeah. That's, kind of casual that I don't have to get completely crazy for. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I call up my buddy Marcus, because I went over to Marcus's place. We went over there, did I don't even want to call it a seminar. We basically hung out for like a week or so. Yeah. And we just partied and wrestled. It's great. It was a great time.
Yeah. Was that around the Oktoberfest time? Is that when you were going over there? I remember you were heading over there.
So he's in Austria.
Okay. So, but you said you were going to Germany. Is that where were you going to meet?
Yeah.
I think you told me you were going over there. We were going past London on at one time.
That's right. It was close, but it wasn't exactly Oktoberfest. It was close, but it wasn't. I think it was like I missed Oktoberfest by like a month or something. Oh, okay. It was a little bit later. It was actually I went to
in Austria called it Septemberfest.
Yeah, it was actually a tattoo slam. There was like a tattoo. I got this tattoo.
I bet that stung like a bastard, didn't it?
I get all my stuff in my fingers, but yeah.
When did that start? When did you think? You know what? I'm going to get stuffed because that's going to be a painful place as well, on the inside of your finger.
Yeah. It was when my brother died. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. So my brother was like fully tatted. He had tats, and he had enough tats for both of us.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But when he died, I started getting tats just to honor him in some kind of way. Yeah.
Why not? Stays with
but Marcus is really good left hand when he's healthy. He's really good. Yeah, maybe he wants to pull me in Dubai.
Hey, you never know, mate. You got to get out. If you can get out of Canada, be absolute quality. So here we go. We got rambling around with a super chat. Does Devon know what those lumps in his arms are? And I think he's meaning like the gnarly.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. They're my brains. Yeah, I have like rebroadcast centers all over my body. Like they left here and they moved to the vital locations where I can just quicker, way quicker.
Absolute quality. The Hunster's come in with one. Who does Devon have? Oh, this is I'm interested in this. Who does Devon have winning the RVJ versus Sasha match? You need to come over to that as well.
Yeah, I do for sure. I for sure want to be there. Now, I'll tell you, that's a good match.
In it. I friggin' love it, Devon.
Oh my God.
Listen, you know the script with me on stuff like that. I'm trying to set up a match that if I'm led awake at night thinking, who the friggin' hell's going to win this? It's so
interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting because to me, Sasha's hook is so good when he gets in that strap and he just parks that thing.
It's a bit Sylvain Perron, isn't it? It's not and then just very hard to.
A lot of drag, a lot of. And he really knows how to work that strap, and just super strong, super committed. But the interesting thing, and there's not a lot of data, but I mean, the only real crossover of interest is Todd Hutchings.
Yes.
Right. So Todd Hutchings went to Moldova.
Kind of a weird one because his strength it dismembers Sasha a little bit because he's a bigger man. Let's be honest, just a bigger guy and stronger.
Right.
Rig.
Yeah, but that tells me that it's close. It's interesting. I go
backwards and forwards on this damn thing daily, mate.
I'll tell you, it's cool because like RVJ, I feel like he just coasts. He's just.
That's what. Let me be clear. I think if RVJ ever commits,
yeah,
everybody's fucked.
Right. So, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, like, how much does he commit? Like, and I totally agree. If RVJ really decides, he'll kill Sasha.
Oh my God, he's done.
Kill him. Yeah, he really like will. It won't be. Yeah.
People don't know what RVJ's potential is. Friggin'
no, it's so stupid, but still, it's still how where is RVJ going to be? I think it's a ridiculous match. That's what I think.
I do. I think it's going to be an absolute balls out.
And if RVJ loses, then it's really crazy.
Well, I think
I don't think he will actually. I'll tell you, I actually think that RVJ will win.
I've got RVJ as a slight favorite. And when I look at it, I figure that it's going to be really close, but maybe like 4-2 Rob in every round being a sickening career ender.
Yeah, I think that RVJ will come back and look better towards the end. And
then I think the floodgates open. And again, the old East versus West thing is just on.
Right?
Dream team. Can't wait. This is so. Stephen Penner, thanks for your super chat. Just come in. Oh, here we go. Devon, please beat Michael. I'm tired of him holding that fake hammer.
Everybody is tired of Michael. Believe me, I get so many messages.
This is one of your own, mate, Canadian. And we started this last night. He said he wanted to start a fund to get you out of Canada. He's put, let's get working on Devon Larratt smuggling fund. Thanks for your super chat, mate. Joking aside, that's scary as shit.
I'll find a way.
Ontario's been locked down.
I will find a way.
So
long as
Pero Kusek, or do you know this guy?
Who?
Pero Kusek. I'm assuming I've pronounced that right, but it's Kukec. Mate, 100 Canadian dollars. Hey, Devon Neal, if you could, I love this. If you could make a Frankenstein's monster of arm wrestlers, who would make the perfect arm wrestler? I.e., Mike Todd's hand with Jerry's arm. Thanks to both of you for all you do. Big fan of the. Ooh, I'll tell you what. That's a good one. I'll tell you what I'd like to start with. I'd like to start with Svetlana Gashevsky's mind. Because spur of the moment versatility, I've never seen anything like that, motherfucker.
We'll each make a deposit. You say one and then I say one.
Right, I'm going to go with that first.
Okay. I will say what's the ligament that's right here?
The collateral ligament on the inside of the forearm.
Jerry Cadorette collateral ligaments.
Mate, I'll tell you what, Jerry Cadorette's, I could take like 5 characteristics from Jerry Cadorette and put them in there.
Okay, so Jerry's tongue and his collateral ligament.
Both of them.
Both of them.
There. Yeah.
Okay, you got to go. Okay,
I'm going to go with. This is really, really hard. I'm going to go with John Brzezink's attitude.
John Brzezinck has no attitude.
Yeah, he has. John Brzezinck is the best arm wrestler of all time and can brush off a loss and completely dismember the pressure that is created by any combat sport like nobody I've ever seen. He doesn't give a fuck. I've seen people beat John Brzezinck, get the rare pin on him. Somebody with all that expectation riding on it. And he just, I've seen lesser arm wrestlers panicking, nervous, crushed by a loss, upset, sick, get down about it. John doesn't care. He just shakes your hand and goes, yeah, well done. Walks away, no problem. I admired that so much about him. It's unbelievable. He's a frigging... For somebody who everybody expected to win every time out, his ability to not give a shit and give the best of himself as a result was amazing to me.
He is very special, unquestionably. It's got to be a big reason why he is who he is.
Yes, I think one of the biggest. You will go.
Travis Bagent's ability to negotiate.
Oh my God. Yeah. Confidence and self-belief. Holy shit. Yeah, let me think.
Chris Regain's ability to summon inner strength.
Okay. Katerina Nikashiva. No.
Yes. We'll just go with that. That's it.
Yeah. No, yeah, we'll leave that. But
okay.
That was good though, for a minute. Well, I'll stay sat down for like 20 minutes too. But Brazilian Army, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's coming. Devon, what do you think your chances against Gennady will be if he comes to WAL? How do you see that going? A lot of people will think Gennady's a real problem for you. I had loads of people send me messages and say, "Oh, Gennady's too fast for Devon can't sit back and counter him."
Yeah, he's a big problem. Huge problem. Gennady Kvikvenia, huge problem. He's one of those guys that would make me have to change my life.
Interesting. Yeah. I love that quote.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you've got enough weapons though and enough size, frame. You got to remember, Gennady came from like a 90 kilo class, so he's not got the biggest frame out there. So I feel like I don't think he's going to be. Where I'd see more Vitaly Lalatin as being more of a potential to run through guys than I do with Gennady, because Gennady's not that big. He's not.
Well, Vitaly's.
So I feel Vitaly's like if he's going to beat you, he's going to have to bleed to do it. You know what I mean? He's not going to just go charging through.
He
I
looks
don't see
good.
that.
Gennady looks really good, really good. I watched a lot of these guys, and to me, Gennady is a guy who it would take everything for me to beat him. So that's why it's one of those matches that's really exciting for me. You know,
it's a cracker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So Joe Mama's just come in with another one. Oh, this is going to be close to your heart. Gary talked about gambling apps for arm wrestling. Now, I know you guys are looking at this because we spoke about it on the phone a few months ago. Wouldn't this open up a can of worms with guys potentially throwing matches to make money? Well, I mean, there's the licensing implications of getting down that route, as I understand it from working with the fight sports, is, I mean, really stringent, extremely. You probably know more about it than me, mate. You've been digging into it, but I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It's complicated, super complicated. As soon as, so yeah, absolutely, it's a total mess. You get involved with gambling, it's a total mess. There will be it's not just all good. There will be a lot of bad too. We start to involve gambling in our sport, there's going to be great things that happen, and there's going to be terrible things that happen. You have to sit back and look at the net. Is the net positive? And I believe it would be, very much so. So yeah, it is kind of one of the big goals we have towards the end of the app development. We've had opportunities to fast track it, and to get it in earlier, which we have, we've talked about, but I actually think to make it come in prematurely isn't great for the long-term development of it. We have an idea when it comes to the gambling format for arm wrestling that I'm really interested in. It's a format that would make it so that you can bet every single day, and that to me is
in any way relating to, and we'll not get into it too much. Do you remember in the early Arm Wars cards we did the tie up with Sportbet 1-on-1? So the bet was a commission based thing where, we're gonna, like, say the whole ArmBet concept, and we're gonna meet at a table somewhere at somebody's club, and we're gonna pull, and you can link into that match, and I bet you. I say, like, I'm gonna bet $50 I can beat your ass, and then another guy jump. I'm on that, and I'll put 50 in, and it becomes that sort of individual betting format which people can tag onto. Is it totally different to that?
Little bit different. There's a couple formats that we're looking at. I don't want to get too much into detail on exactly what we're thinking of doing, but betting is complicated. Betting's complicated. But I do believe that betting as a step in the sport of arm wrestling is right around the corner. And for single events, it's going to be a thing. Like, there will be single one-time events where you can bet on matches, but then there will be the constant ability to bet on arm wrestling every single day, which will be that's, I think, when we're really going to kill it. Yeah, and I'll get into that when it's close, but we're still a long way away, I think. But before I die, there's going to be, there will be, that is going to happen. Yeah, you'll be able to open up ArmBet, and every single day, if you want to bet on arm wrestling, it'll be available for you.
So let's get back on topic, okay? And I don't mean Jordan Sill. We're going to. I got one I want to run by you. A lot of people talking about the fact that this match could be the most widely viewed arm wrestling match in history, and it certainly presents that potential. Okay, Michael was looking at a match which was a guarantee of legacy, and may or may not feel that this complements that, but it's definitely a change from the whole Levan thing and I'm the number one. How big is this match in terms of your career? you've been involved in some monstrous matches, some matches that were defining, extremely famous, iconic. Describe them as you will. Where does this one rank, mate? How big is this in your mind? How much pressure are you feeling? How much pride are you feeling?
Well, this has the potential to be the biggest, the absolute biggest. One reason why it's the biggest is the monetary size of it.
Yeah.
The second reason why it's the biggest is the time period. It's the only show in town. And the third reason is it's for a world title. Fourth reason, it's a tiebreaker.
That's a big one.
You know, and the last one is traditionally they've been great matches.
Yes.
Traditionally, Michael and I have had great matches. I hope it's the same. I hope it's another one, just like all the, like if it goes the way that our last two have, then it will completely live up to all its expectations for me. I hope that I'm on the winning side. To me, this match is potentially a huge step for the sport.
Yep.
You know, in terms of platform, in terms of reach. We've basically jumped by a factor of 10 when it comes to our reach. You know, the PR lifestyle, Larry Wheels promotion combined with the World's Strongest Man team in Dubai. I mean, that's got a big reach. That match is gonna be in front of a ton of people.
How unfortunate is the timing for you, mate, with all those considerations there? Because you've just come off what was, by your own admission, potentially the most troubled or down period that you've had in some time, if not ever. Health being a big one within there, but either mental or physical. Then to get what a match with such significance, what in what's relatively short time after that, does that piss you off? Is it not an ideal? If you could sort of say, you know what, rip up that script, this match is going to take place, when would that be? Would it be now because of what's going on with ArmBets? Is it opportunistic, or would it be October later?
Well, I wouldn't want to wait. We have an opportunity, and it's so hard to predict the future. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so pissed, is because I wish more people would see the world the way that I do. This match isn't even promised. This match is still, you know, I think it's going to happen, but you have to seize opportunities when they present themselves to you.
Yes.
Are the situation, is it ever perfect? It's never perfect. You try your best to make it as perfect as possible.
Yeah.
And look, it's so weird the way things work. It ends up being about one day. And look I mean, you don't know what's going to happen on that day. No. Like, things can fall together. And just because I was weak in November, it doesn't mean that my greatest day of my career can't be the 28th of May. It does not mean that.
In fact, it's almost as though there are certain things in that recipe that potentially lead to that. I mean, look at, you know, if you look at, pick one, any of the great sporting, let's go with Muhammad Ali Foreman, okay? Probably the thing that makes that so much at the forefront of people's minds is the fact that Foreman was who he was. He was perceived as this invincible monster at the time. Ali had been out for a while, perceived as past his best. Well, and yet that whole, it wasn't just the fight, it was all those factors, the magnitude of the event, that where it happened. There's a lot of friggin' synergy. You know what I mean? There's similarities.
Big match.
Yeah, it's a
big match.
A lot of stuff.
And you know, it did like, I'll tell you, it did piss me off a little bit, because I know that there was a part of Michael that thought it was a good time to get me. And I know that. He can say that it's not true and that he, knows that I'm a great champion and all that. That's true too. But Michael knew that it was a good time to pick me. And that made me just a little bit angry, just a little bit, and in that, I think that has been great motivation and great fuel for me to fight. Mike's always focused. Mike is a very disciplined dude. I have been very disciplined the last couple months, very disciplined.
There's a different swagger about you, a different demeanor about you, mate. Interesting.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Hopefully it translates. We'll see. We got like 6 weeks. So
Jesus, it's coming quick.
Yeah, it is.
It really
it's coming real fast.
Right around the corner now.
It's right here. It's right here. Soon that ticket will be booked. It'll be. When you get older, time goes much quicker.
Yeah.
You can see 6 weeks. 6 weeks is tomorrow. Yeah. Won't be long till we're on that table.
Jamie Walton 666 is in the chat. Hi from Middlesbrough. How you doing, mate? Thanks for checking us out and tuning in. Just checking the time. I'm going to let this guy get off here in a while because it's his weekend and we're taking up a lot of time. Joe Moma's coming with a super chat. Devon, if the King's move was made illegal, please rank the top 5 supers in North America. So I'm thinking he means no King's mover. So no Mike.
What does that even mean when you say no King's move? Because I start to get confused as soon as people have defined the King's move as different things. So now, does the King's move mean that your shoulder is below the table and the refs aren't calling it? Is that what people think the King's move is?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm so confused now. Yeah. I'm so confused by what people actually I think that there's a large percentage of people out there who think that King's moving is some illegal technique that's allowed to happen.
Yeah, which is not the case.
No, it's not the case at all. But I think that somehow people are like, I don't like the King's move because it's illegal. And it's like, hold on. I don't understand what's going on here. But okay, so we'll just say that open top rollers are out of the question. Is that what we're gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, does it even the only way you could do that if you say if you just named 6 or 7. And if anybody's a King's mover in those 6 or 7, take them out.
Okay, well, okay. So I think that your most diesel dude in North America is Dave Chafee. Okay, Dave Chafee is beating everybody. Dave Chafee, fundamental, straight up, ready, go. Hand goes to the pad. You know who I want to put in there?
Go on.
Actually, well, no, I'll get to him.
You've got to get Jerry in there. Can we tick him off? Can we go? Jerry's getting in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jerry's in there.
Freaking animal.
Now, I'll tell you, it starts to get really interesting really quickly because I think Corey West is really good.
Mate, Corey West is going to be a problem.
Yeah. I think Corey West is where is he? How good is Corey West? I think Corey West is really freaking good.
Yeah. More to the point, where will Corey West be in 2 frigging years if he carries on this trajectory? Because Corey West, when you meet Corey West, that's a big bastard.
Yeah.
I mean, just a weirdo big fucker. He is problematic for so many guys, and he's becoming really well-rounded.
Yeah,
got a lot of power. He top rolls well.
Mm-hmm.
He's relatively young.
Let me throw in one more name right away here, and I know that it's Eric Spotto. Probably a lot of people don't have him on the list, but believe me, he's on the list. He is 1,000% on the list. And I'll tell you, I'd like to see him and Jerry.
Is he still like focusing on pulling? Is Eric still having a real crack at it?
Well, I heard that he got a little bit busted up. I heard that, but it doesn't matter. Believe me, Neil. He's on the he is on
criminally strong. I mean,
he is on that list. He's ridiculous. And he hasn't even shown up at a competition table yet.
Can't wait.
I think,
and that gives me a thought though.
Yeah.
Because when Eddie fights Thor, we need to be firstly ringside, which I'm going to set up. But secondly, doing something at the Filthy Power gym or Eric's gym.
Oh yeah.
Bloody
Sin City Iron.
Sin City Iron.
Sin City Iron.
We could put something on there, go watch the fights.
Oh yeah.
Good times.
Oh, it's a great idea.
Lovely darts. Let's do this thing.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll love to have us there. Yeah, that guy is for sure top 5 in North America. For sure.
So we got Jerry, Dave, Eric.
Yeah. And look at, Corey's for sure on there. I mean, look at, I know he said no Kings movers, but you have to have Michael on the list. You got to.
God, he's top of the list.
Whatever.
But here we go then. Michael without Kings move, still there.
Yeah. And where does that? But the thing is, where does the Kings That's the thing that really pisses me off. The whole distinction between open top rolling and Kings moving. It's to me, it's like it leads.
Look at Mike when he pulled Dave. Okay, the last time he pulled Dave, he didn't really get. That was he. I know he could have done a lot more there, and that's an incredible achievement because Dave is strong as balls. He really is. Joe Low's just coming. Getting off topic there, I think we've nailed that one on. Hopefully that does it for you, Joe. Joe Low's come in. Wheels versus Schoolboy? ? Greetings from Ireland. Thanks for coming on the show, mate. And Devon, how have you got that? For me, Larry's obviously progressed a great deal, but I'm struggling because I rate Schoolboy highly, and I think he's evolving. And I love a lot of things about Larry. I love that he's got involved in the sport. I still think it's a little bit unfair that he pulls Schoolboy, if I'm honest. I don't know. How do you see that?
Yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page. It's I am very curious to see the match because if it's close, well, then that should give you an indication of where Larry's going. I do think that it's a massive ask for Larry, a huge ask. Larry still, look, he really doesn't have any experience. He has negligible. It's negligible. Now, he has trained with most of the best arm wrestlers in the world at this point. He has.
Yeah, he's been with some good lads.
Really good. But the thing is, he still hasn't gone to tournaments, heard the ready goes, done the progression where he's won, he's almost won. You need to have those matches that it's like if you had done that one thing different, then you would have won, and then you fix it, and then you go back. And there's been very little of that, right? So obviously Larry's potential is ridiculous, but Schoolboy's potential is ridiculous also. Yeah. And people forget how big that kid is.
Really big.
Yeah, he's really big.
6'5".
Yeah.
220, 230. Big lad. Bigger? Holy
yes. Shit. Yeah, he's big.
Figuring out, he's gone from a kid to a man, and he's sticking out and improving.
Yes. Oh my God. And a kid who's been arm wrestling for I don't know, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
He's probably started arm wrestling when he was 11. Mm-hmm. So it's a really tough match for Larry. I would have liked to seen Larry pull somebody else, but I understand for views and for reach, Schoolboy's a great choice. I would have liked to seen him pull Brandon Allen. I think that's an interesting match. But
makes more sense.
Yeah, it's nice because they're both ex-powerlifters, both world champions.
Yeah.
Both got about the same amount of time in the sport.
Yeah.
to me,
you even spoke about Mendy in the past, him and Scott Mendelsohn. That's another one that would make a degree of sense. You know, it's more along the lines. Whereas Schoolboy, I don't know.
Schoolboy's tough, man.
Big ask. I got
He is super. Yeah, you got to. I mean, you have to think Schoolboy's a favorite. You got to.
So Craig Humphrey's just come in.
Larry Wheels is a freak, though.
He is a freak, mate. I just feel sorry for him sometimes. It's like lamb to the slaughter. I feel a bit cruel on him, if I'm honest. I know that sounds daft. He's a big boy, you know, but I don't know. So Craig Humphreys has just come in. This channel deserves far more subs. Thank you very much, mate. Devon, can you give a shout out? Also, is look it a Canadian thing? Look it? What's that? Is that like a saying?
Look it? Yeah, I say it all the time. I'm like, look it. I don't know if it's Canadian.
Great content. Cheers, Craig. Much appreciated, mate. Let's have a look what we got here, because I'm conscious we need to let you go and get on with the rest of your Sunday. Zane Jones just come in. Devon, I know you consider the whole open top roll spectrum a king's move, but I think the general public still thinks of shoulder below the table and or extended arm as a king's move. Yeah, I think Devon gets that big time, Zane. I think that's what he was referring to, mate, to be honest. Yeah. Difficult one to get into, really. I think we've crushed the living.
Yeah, it's just really difficult because I'm not condoning fouling. I'm not condoning it.
No,
you know, I'm not saying fouls, but the
You're
problem is
King's move's legal if it's done legally, and if it's done legally within the rules, whatever rules you are arm wrestling under, it's very, very effective. And
I also understand that it pisses people off because some people have shortened ranges and they are at the end of their range and it's legal.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it that it's really complicated. I understand that there's issues, but it's what are you going to do? You want to see the match end on fouls?
No.
Or do you want to try to find a way to beat it? I know plenty of people who have wonky elbows. I know plenty of people who can't straighten. Doesn't mean the arm doesn't go down.
No.
That doesn't work like that.
It's been done. We've seen it done. It's hard, but it's doable. Now, let's have a look. We are approaching the 1.5 hour mark with being on here, guys. I want to say a massive thanks to everybody who's been in the chat. It's been going bananas. Sorry, it's hard to keep up with all these guys and keep the thing going. 926 people still with us. Mate, before I let you go, we do have to, I suppose, get back to, we said we'd do this question from earlier. If you had to pick one arm wrestler,
man.
One arm wrestler,
just one
time, who would be your absolute favorite arm wrestler? Who would you go with? You go first, because I fucking hate that question.
I hate the question too, but I'm gonna push the easy button. I'm pushing the easy button. Gotta go with the. Of course, yeah. How can you not? How can you not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
How can you not?
I mean, he's the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the best. But favorite. Okay, just to I'm just going to go a different place, just because. Let's go a different place. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! This is hard because I have so many guys that are right there. I'm going to go with from my young career. Okay. Young career, someone who I in the very, very early days of my young career, when I was just getting into the sport and gave me a massive, like, wow, inspiration moment. I'm going to throw that name in there, and it would be Andrew Cobra Rhodes, because Andrew Cobra Rhodes, when I was a kid, okay, I'm talking 12, 13 years old. Watching that man arm wrestle he was the first global star of the international star of the sport. And a magnificent arm wrestlers. They come along every now and again, weirdos, people who had just got that freak factor, and he was the first. And when I was a puppy, he was the big dog. And he was the guy you watched and you thought, holy shit, that guy's cool. And then from there, that creates that cascading moment and you get into the sport and you see other guys of that kind of ilk. You know, you see your John Brzezinks. Come on, John Brzezink's if you're saying who's the best arm wrestler of all time, it is John Brzezink. There's no doubt about it. Favorites a difficult one for me. I really struggle with that. There's guys, what I will say, and we'll throw a few names out there of people who are, if they're not amongst your favorites, guys, for people coming into the sport, they definitely should be. And I'm going to throw the man that's on the call with me right now, Devon Larratt, in there without blowing smoke up this guy's ass. We've been friends for a long period of time. I got Devon his first professional match in Professional Arm Wrestling League when I was part of that organization and matchmaking because of the fact that I had enormous belief in him from a very, very early age. And I had to fight tooth and nail to make that match happen. And people said I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was losing my touch because I was matching him up with a guy who was the reigning world champion, multiple world and European champion. And I said, trust me, you bring this guy over, he'll shock the shit out of you. And I love looking back at that and sliding doors, you know. But that wasn't down to me. That was how I believed that could happen. But it was down to the man in the green hoodie. And he's a weirdo, and we're lucky. And the sport of arm wrestling is a better place because Devon Larratt's in it, ladies and gents, and that's a fact. It just is. Richard
so
Lucas
nice
is
me,
another
Neil.
one, mate. Hey, you know that, you know that, mate. You know the friggin'
You're such a good guy.
you know the score.
When I'm gonna go and cry when I'm off this call.
I feel a bit like,
yeah.
Last time I felt that emotional, I trapped my dick in my zip, but.
That'll
on a
end
more
that
serious note, let's throw a couple more names out there for people who they might not know. Lorenzo Villar, little Spanish guy, used to compete 50 kilos, 55 kilos, took the world titles away from people like Engin Terzi. If you saw Lorenzo Villar back there, you'd think that dude had just climbed off his bike on a paper round. And yet he was an absolute savage, unbelievable arm wrestler. Another man who's in a very, very serious condition right now tonight where we're on this call talking about arm wrestling, who is an absolute standout legend of all time, is Mr. Richard Lupkus. And surely his missus is terrified. That's a wonderful couple. They're extremely close. She's at her wit's end. Richard's in a very bad condition after serious complications due to catching COVID. And I couldn't wish the man any more luck and any more good fortune in getting through this. And that is a genuinely humble, lovely individual, that is. And maybe the strongest arm wrestler ever to put his arm on a table. Because when again, back in the sort of Cobra Rhodes days, that was a frigging beast. Absolute animal. So, yeah. Hope
Dave Patton.
Oh, mate, Dave Patton, freak.
Yeah.
I mean, god damn, if there's ever been a man made for it, could tie his shoelaces stood up, friggin' unbelievably long arms, massive arms. Even Ray's brother, who never gets a mention anywhere. Bad dude. Johnny Walker. What the fuck? You know? Just, if you look back over this sport, there are so many examples of incredible arm wrestlers. Guys that nobody knows, and yet were fabulous pullers. Aaron Lingell. You talk about people who were like obsessed with it, super technical, could do it all. Nobody frigging talks about Aaron. Aaron's a goddamn monster. You know, he's a mega arm wrestler. Place is full of them, creeping with them. You know, so many guys have come. Last super chat, Joe Mummer, Devon, 2008. Devon seemed humble and respectful. Later, Devon has seemed to adopt a wrestling heel persona at times. Which is the real you?
I'm nothing. I'm nothing. Whatever you see in front of me, it's just all. I'll whatever's needed, he shall appear.
Nice work. Ladies and gents, listen, I'm going to let this guy jump off here. He's been really kind enough to give up his time. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in and checking it out. If this is your first time on the Supernatural Strength channel, please like, share, subscribe, tell people about it. We'll try and make this thing grow. Get yourself over to Devon Larratt's channel, ladies and gents. This is our superstar. It's arm wrestling's own star, and we want to keep him going because there's nobody who does it better. So please get over. I'm going to put the link in the description. Check out this guy. Learn whatever you want to. Devon's covered all sorts of shit, from literally how to train basic movements in the sport to the more complicated, diverse stuff. It's all there, to just good times, piss funny stuff. It's all there. His life on camera. Get over there. Check it out.
Thanks for everything you do, Neil.
Mate, thanks for giving up your time and for coming on. And for everybody out there, stay safe, and we will see you on. We got Levan Saganashvili coming on the show Thursday. We got Tony, the Iron Man Katowski, on Wednesday. Yeah, we're back to backing them, guys. Enjoy your evening. Biggity bong, mother fluffers.